Hello, Ben Woodruff here with another falconry video. Today's video I want to talk a little bit about the principle behind getting a kestrel to pursue avian quarry. So if you got an American kestrel and you're wanting it to be able to fly after and directly pursue something like an English sparrow or a starling, something like that. That can be tricky. If you've never done it before, you might give it a few chances where you're like, I've trained this bird, I've got it flying to the fist, flying to the lure, it's well exercised, and so I brought it up on some sparrows, and it was very interested, and then it starts going after, and as soon as the sparrows fly up, the kestrel's like, and goes and lands. Or same thing, there's a whole flock of starlings, and just it's watching, it's interested, and then it goes, and the starling, so it's like, banks off. And the reason is that kestrels are pouncers more than they are pursuit hunters. They can pursue, but it's not their go-to style of hunting. In their mind, they're like, okay, I can hunt flying insects, insects on the ground. I can fly after rodents. I can catch birds under very rare circumstances in the wild. Snakes, lizards, all kinds of things that they might go after. And for them, their go-to is to just sit and look around, kind of like bootios, like red-tailed hawks, don't pursue as much. And so they're just looking around, and then, oh, there's something I'm going to pounce on. Or, as you know, kestrels will hover. They're capable of hovering in one place, and their wings are so oversized and they are so small that they're able to do that in a buoyant way that doesn't burn through the calories too quickly. So pouncing on an opportunity makes more sense for them, and to have prey that is like going to take off and really do an athletic flight to escape, their brain kind of goes, nah, there'll be something easier. I'll find a grasshopper or a mouse. I don't need to burn the calories to chase that thing. It's not going to be worth it. Now, other falcons are very different, especially large falcons. Large falcons are pursuit predators, and usually we fly like a peregrine. You teach them to circle up, and then you flush avian quarry, and they dive down on it, and if they don't hit it, then they'll chase it down until they grab it. They're used to that. They're built for that because they're a lot bigger. They have a more athletic build and musculature that allows them to do that heavy pursuit. Kestrels aren't, but they can still do it, so it's a mind game. So what do you do with that mind game? You have to give them opportunities, real or perceived as real, that they know for sure that they're guaranteed going to catch. You just have to build up their confidence. One of the ways I'll do that is I'll take feathers and put them on a lure, and or maybe like a sparrow skin over on a lure, and I'll tie that lure with a string up and over a branch and put that way far away, and then I'll walk up with the bird, with the kestrel, and have somebody else pull it, and it looks like a bird that just took off, but it's staying there, and then when the kestrel flies up and grabs it, they didn't see it directly associated with the human, and it was in the air flopping around, and they caught it, and then you drop it to the ground, and the kestrel eats off it and gets you give it a big, huge meal. You can come up with creative ways like that with bagged game, with baggies. I'll put a link in this video description as far as so you can read up more on what baggies are and how that works. But the most important principle with that kestrel is to build its confidence. You have to have manufactured scenarios that you make that the kestrel doesn't know is manufactured, and that you have to make sure that you've built up their confidence so they think every time I do pursue a bird or what I think is a bird, I 100% guarantee catch it. And when I catch it, there's an instant huge meal available. Now that's a very simple principle, of course, that we use with a lot of raptor species, but it's vital to get kestrels to go after birds. Because again, otherwise their mind says, hey, I don't want to waste my time on it. Kestrels can burn through calories so fast. It's interesting. I've watched in the winter months where they want to eat what will give them the most nutrition quickly. I've watched where they'll catch a mouse and they'll eat the head and the heart and the lungs and drop the rest. I'm like, dude, there's a lot more meat there and bone and stuff you could still eat. And they're just like, nah, I'm going to go. There's another opportunity will present itself. It's more beneficial for me to keep scanning until that opportunity presents itself than it is to eat a whole meal. Strange, but it's the same thing. When birds fly, they normally say, you know what, it's not worth it. I'm going to just bank off, land, and look for a lizard or a grasshopper to appear. And so your job, again, as a falconer is to find ways. The principle is find a way to make sure that kestrel 100% catches in a manufactured scenario what it thinks is a bird or a real bird on a line, whatever you need to do, whatever ways you come up with, make sure they have 100% success and a huge meal, and do that at least 10 times in a row, 10 days in a row, and then let them try on a real sparrow. And they're going to get it. They're just going to be like, yeah, of course, I've 10 days in a row. My whole meal, I just caught what I thought was a sparrow, and I instantly got a giant meal. And that is so important. So remember that. If you're having a hard time with your kestrel, remember to do that. Manufacture a scenario, and you'll do great. Let me know your thoughts and comments on this. If you haven't already, please hit subscribe. And as always, happy hawking.